Hey, Shalom Markins, Rakam Bakapash from Jim London, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Chakwadash. I want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the whole for X pushing his truth and all sincerity. Back again with another video. I'm going to entitle this one, Payment Must Be Made, or A Payment Must Be Made, right? Because, you know, Esau out here trying to dodge all kind of accountability for his crimes and his sins, his wickedness against the children of Israel, you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you know, and that descendants have been scattered abroad. He ain't trying to take no account, all right, of his part in this, you know. What is it? They think themselves not guilty. Let's quick get that up. I think it's think. Hold themselves not guilty, something like that. Yeah, here we go. Zechariah chapter 11, verse 5 says, whose possessors slay them, right? Esau is our possessor. Okay, we're in captivity under Esau. We're under his rulership, under his authority, under his laws, right? We're underneath. Okay, working, slaving away for his system, building his kingdom, right? So whose possessors slay them, and you know they slay us. You know, the transatlantic slave trade. You know, they were brutal to us, man. Okay, gave no care for our lives at all. Old, young, male, female, it didn't matter, right? So then hold themselves not guilty. They wanna absolve themselves from guilt. They don't think they should, you know, be at blame for anything. That we should forgive them and stop talking about it. Stop shaming them. Stop bringing it up. Stop shaming them. Right? They don't like it. You know, Piers Morgan and you know these guys. You know, with the talk shows and shit. We shouldn't be having to keep, you know, apologizing for slavery and all this kind of stuff. They don't want to be guilty, right? But the truth of the matter is, you haven't paid for it, right? You think it was enough to, you know, take the chains off us, man. It wasn't enough. Okay, what you're doing is not enough, right? And the Most High expects full payment for what you've done. Okay, nobody, you know, escapes the judgment of the Heavenly Father, right? So it says, yeah, and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, "Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich." Right? They sold us, they made money off us, they got a whole, you know, bougie ass kingdom. It's not so bougie these days, but you know, they made hella money and built all this infrastructure off the back of us, man. And what have we got to show for it? Fuck all, man. Right? And yet, you know, they tell us, oh, we got a part in this kingdom. Just work hard, and one day you'll be Elon Musk, you know, or you know, one of these other fucking elites with a CEO company and all this kind of, you know, all this kind of shit. It's just bullshit, man. You're always working for Esau in some shape or form, man. You know, or in debt to him or something. You know. So then and they that sell them say, "Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich," and their own shepherds pity them not, right? Because they're sellouts and they got them paid and bought for, you know, pushing their agendas, man. Okay, our own shepherds, our own Israelite brothers, don't pity us, man. Okay, because they're just trying to make it, you know, in Esau society, so they're sold out, right? So ain't nobody out here helping us, man. All right. But anyway, let's get into this. Yeah. So you know, the Most High, you know, he expects payment. All right. So this is Galatians chapter 6, verse 7 says, "Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." And this is what we keep telling you, and this is what you want to keep denying and you know, running away from. All right. So if he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, and he that soweth to the spirit shall of the spirit reap life everlasting. Right. But again, you know, God is not mocked. Whatever you soweth, Esau sowed death and slavery to our people. Okay, it hasn't recompensed us, right? So that's what you sowed, and that is what you're gonna reap, man. We're telling you, you know, you're gonna get put to death and you go into slavery. Okay, thus saith the Lord, thus saith the scriptures, right? That's what it says, and you don't like that. Okay, but it's just the truth, man. That's what you deserve. All right. Uh, Revelations 3:10 says, "He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity." Okay, isn't that what you did? And then, you know, you're trying to shift the blame on everybody else. Oh yeah, but you know, the Arabs and you know, the other Negroes and Africans, and you know, they had people in slavery too. They had you in slavery. Yeah, and they're all going along with you, man. You know, they're all going into slavery with you, man. Okay, you all gotta pay. You're just the worst offender. That's all it is. Okay, you're being highlighted But you're the worst offender. You're going into slavery right with them, man. They ain't getting away either. You know? So he that leadeth into captivity should go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Okay, this is what we're waiting for. Right? For the vindication, the justice, the balancing. Right? That's what we're waiting for. For those things that happen to us to happen to our enemies. That's what we're waiting for. Right? And there ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay, but obviously Esau's got a problem because it's concerning him, you know? Let me grab this. This is Genesis chapter 9, verse 6. It says, whoso sheddeth man's blood, right? Esau's done this, right? By man shall his blood be shed. Okay, it's gonna come back around on you, man. Whether you like it or not, right? For in the image of God he made he man, right? So it's destiny, man. It's your destiny. You're fated to be destroyed, man. All right. And this is Genesis. This is Numbers chapter 35, verse 33. It says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein you are, for blood it defileth the land. Right? The fact that Esau has gone around the world shedding our blood, which is precious in the eyes of the Heavenly Father, right? Because we're his children, right? It's defiled the land. Same thing when Cain slew Abel, and he told Cain, because Cain denied any knowing of what happened to Abel, where Abel was and all that kind of stuff. And the Lord was like, well, I hear Abel's blood crying from the ground unto me. Because our blood is crying to the Lord, man. In our flesh, if we're alive, and in our spirit, we're crying to the Lord. Even, like I said, when we're put to death, we return to the spirit world, man. We're crying to the Lord for the injustice, man. Because nothing's been done about it. Let's be real about it. Nothing's been done about it yet. But the Most High's got everything in his time, man. Right? And so he's preparing that judgment against Esau. Because it's going to be great. Okay, it ain't going to be nice. All right? So it says, yes, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Right? That person's blood must be shed to cleanse the land, to bring balance. Right? So in this situation, Esau's blood has to be shed. Okay? The same things that happen to our people needs to happen to him to be balanced, for justice to be served. All right? And like I say, Esau, he's trying to escape all that, man. He's trying to, get off with nothing, without paying anything, man. As far as he's concerned, we should all be happy that we're not in chains anymore, and that we can work in his kingdom and, buy goods and, be consumers for him. That he expects us to be grateful for that, right? Even though he's denying us who we really are. Okay, he's preventing us from being anything more than just serfs, servants to him. All right, Most High's gonna make all of this right. Okay, he gonna make you pay, with what which you didn't want to do. He gonna make you do it. All right, we don't expect you devils to come forth and just, offer yourselves up, give everything back and put yourselves in slavery. We don't expect you to do that. Your pride and your arrogance, is going to prevent you from doing that, man. And the sheer fear of being put in our hands, right? You ain't going to do that, man. But the Most High is going to make you do that. All right? The Most High is going to destroy your kingdom, man, and take power away from you and give it to us. Okay, then we're going to be able to exact justice upon you, man. Okay, and right all the wrongs that you've done unto us. And I know in the back of your Edomite's mind, you so-called white people's man that scared the shit out of you, man. And it should. All right? You've done heinous things against our people, man. All right? This is Sirach chapter 41 and verse 5. It says that the children of sinners are abominable children. Right? Because we got an issue here today, because, guys like Piers Morgan, all these talk shows, these white people were talking about, oh, that happened so long ago that no one's even alive that, that's, was a part of slavery and whatever. But there's still plenty of people that that are benefiting off it, that are alive today. Families with long money, man, with that old money. There's plenty of families on the earth still benefiting from our slavery, regardless if they was alive at the time. You know, the whips were getting cracked and the chains were getting, you know, slapped on and all that kind of stuff, and the babies getting fed to crocodile. You know, there's plenty of families out here still benefiting off it, right? And you know, that hasn't been you know, corrected or anything's been done about that. In fact, you know, only up until recently, these slave owners and these slave families are still getting paid off from the fact that they had to give up their slaves, man. They got payments. They got paid out. Jake didn't get paid out. Jake came out of slavery with nothing. The only option we had was to go back under Esau to work for him, man. You know, we came out of nothing, man. But you Edomites, you devils, you got paid out, man. All up until recently, banks are still paying you out, or whoever was paying you out, man. So they got recompense, but we didn't. You know, so-called white man got looked after, but we didn't. Just go to show, right? But yeah, so you got a bunch of, you know, this generation of Edomites, you know, claiming they had nothing to do with it. That they, you know, that we shouldn't even be talking about it because they're not even alive today, and these people here today ain't got nothing to do with that. That's what he, you know, Esau, how Esau talks, man. You know, but Esau in his world don't operate like that. You know, if you got debts, guess what? Your debts get passed on to, you know, the next of kin or whatever, right, on your property, whatever, you know, whatever it is. You know, you get death tax. You know, even though shit got nothing to do with you, man. They're looking to take money from somebody. They're looking to recover what they've lost or what they've invested in or whatever, man. Money is owed to them. They're looking to take it in some form or fashion. That's how Esau operates, man. But when we're here telling you, well, you know, someone's got to pay, ain't nobody want to pay. Oh, that's not my problem. That's not my business. Da, 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 da. This is why the Most High gonna force you, right? So let me read this anyways. Sirach 41 verse 5 said, "The children of sinners are abominable children," right? Your granddaddies and, you know, all your wicked forefathers, right? That had their hand in slavery, right? The children of sinners are abominable children. You are abominable children too, right? And they that are conversing in the dwelling of the ungodly, and that's Esau to a T. He ungodly as hell, man. Right? It says, the inheritance of sinners, children shall perish, and their posterity, which is their children, you know, shall have a perpetual reproach. And that's what's only going to happen to Esau. You know, and this is general speech here, you know, for those that do wickedly. But you're right on that list, Esau. You so-called white people, you're right on that list, right? So the children will, says, yeah, so verse 7, the children will complain of an ungodly father, and that is what you're doing. Oh, that was my grandfather. They were doing all that madness. You know? That's got nothing to do with me, even though, you know, your family lines have been set up off of that. You know? Or you'd be fucking peasants on the earth, man. And some of you Edomites are peasants on the earth, man, because you're two-time losers. But, you know, a lot of you Edomites are in a better position than you know, you would have been if your granddaddy hadn't done, your granddaddy didn't do all of that madness, all of that wickedness. All right? Jake is so heavily handicapped in this world, man. You Edomites are still better off than us. You know? Yet we did all the work. But there's no recompense for us. You know, and all this talk about, you know, the 40 acres or whatever it is and the mule, that ain't nearly enough. Even if it was to happen, which it won't. You know, it wouldn't even be nearly enough. Right? That's why when the Most High sends his son Yahushua to destroy you, right, and put you in slavery, we're going to take everything. Everything is for payment. Okay, we're going to bankrupt you, man. On the next level. You're going to be left with nothing but a fucking loincloth, man. All of you Edomites. Every one of you going to pay. You know, begin with these, you know, elite banking families, man. But all of you are going to pay. Right? Because the children of sinners are abominable children. Right? Right? Well, I'm going to read this part. Right? It says, "Woe be unto you, ungodly men, which have forsaken the Lord, the Most High God. For if ye increase, it shall be to your own destruction." Right? And Esau don't give a damn about the laws of the Bible. You know, he hides behind it and acts like he's righteous. Right? And he's increased. He always increasing. Esau and the elites are always increasing. Right? Where everyone's getting poorer. Right? But it says it should be to your destruction. Right? They're gonna be destroyed, man. All right. It's Isaiah 14. I could read up from the top because this is speaking about actually I will read from the top because this is good anyway, right? It's Isaiah 14. I'll start from verse 2, right? "And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors." Right? That's what the Most High has promised us. That's what the Most High said is going to happen. Right? That we're going to rule over our oppressors. We're going to put you in captivity, put you in slavery. Right? We're going to possess those that possessed us. You know, what goes around comes around. What you sow is what you reap. We read that earlier, right? This is the patience, is faith and patience of the saints, right? This is what we're waiting for. This is what's going to happen, as much as you don't want it to, right? Verse 3, "And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. And thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say," which is, beginning with America, you Edomites, right? Who are in power. Say, "How have the oppressors ceased, the golden city ceased?" Okay, like I said, which is America, the golden city, right? "The Lord have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers," right? Broken their power, taking their authority away from them, right? "He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, Since thou art laid down, no feather is come up against us. Hell from beneath is moved to meet thee, thy coming. It stirreth out the dead for thee. Even all the chief ones of the earth. It's like it have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations, and they shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou become as weak as we? Art thou become like unto us?" Right? Because I said the Most High is taking you out of power. You're gonna be brought down low. You're gonna be brought down with the heathen, because the heathen are gonna be in a bad spot too, man. Because they're gonna get judged and punished too, right? But you're gonna be on their level, which you've never been on their level. You've been in rulership, right? So they're gonna be looking at you like in disbelief almost, right? So they shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou become as weak as we? Okay, you're all in the same fucking boat, right? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp, which is pride, is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is under thee. Is spread under thee, and the worm shall cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, right? And that's these Edomite elites, okay, these rulers of Esau, right? So the son of morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north, right? To rule over his people, to be above his people, okay, which is not what he's supposed to be, right? Jacob was given the blessing to be above all nations, not Esau. Esau gonna be in the dirt, like fully, okay, when the time comes, right? So I will send above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High, right? So your pride and your pompousness, man, is brought you to desolation, man, because you thought you could be like the Most High. It says, "Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. And they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake kingdoms?" Right? Because like I said, they're going to be in almost disbelief that you've been brought down this low, right? And they look at you, man, looking weak and feeble, in fear and trembling, right? And they're going to have no respect for you, man. So that made the world as a wilderness, and that destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. But thou art cast out thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people, right? The children of Israel. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. The children, The seed, the children, right? The children, they ain't never going to be renowned, man. They're all going to be destroyed, right? It says, prepare, and this is the point I want to get to, right? Prepare slaughter for his children. So that whole ungodly father talk, about, oh, we're not to blame and all this kind of stuff. The Most High doesn't see it like this, man. Not for you, right? And there's an important piece of knowledge that you people are misunderstanding or not understanding or missing just completely, right? The fact that even though that happened, a number of years ago, and new generations have popped up since then, that really this time that you got on this earth isn't your first time. Okay, you're actually back again. Okay, through something called reincarnation, right? And this is why you're going to be punished, because you were those same people. You just had no recollection of it, right? So you will be paying for your own sins, because you are your fathers. You're coming back in your lots, man. All right. So anyway, so prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities. Right. So the Most High is saying clearly here that the children of the wicked, right, are gonna pay. Right. So if I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and the remnant, and son and nephew, saith the Lord. Right. And notice it's not saying these Edomite women ain't gonna fucking be cut off, but they're very much less of an issue, because a nation is made up of men, and their seed. And once you cut off all the men, your sons and nephews, so they're all male gender roles, right? Sons and nephews, the men, right? There's no more seed. There's gonna be no more seed of Esau anymore. No seed of Edom anymore, right? So there's not gonna be no branches. There ain't gonna be no root, right? So they can't ever come back. That is the judgment you Edomites have got to do. Got to face. That's the payment. And even Cain said it, right? That his judgment is greater than he can bear, because you ain't gonna have no seed, man. Okay, you're gonna get wiped off the face of the earth, right? So Joel 27 verse 14 says this: is, if his children be multiplied, it is for the sword. Right? That's what you Edomites have filled the whole earth, because just to be destroyed. You've been put in power. You're ruling over the whole earth. Okay, your people have multiplied, right? Even though that's on decline, but you've been multiplied just for your destruction, to have you all here today to be judged. Part of the reason why there's so many people on the earth today, because they're all here to face judgment, man. They're all going to be here in the time of the day of the Lord to receive judgment, right? So it says here, if his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. All right. And even the verse above, verse 13 says this is the portion of a wicked man with God. Right? Esau is a wicked man. He's the wicked, right? There ain't no more wicked than Esau, right? So this is the portion of a wicked man with God, and the heritage of oppressors. He oppressor too, right? He fit in all the parameters, It says, and the heritage of oppressors which they shall receive of the Almighty, right? And that's when it starts saying about the children be multiplied for the sword, right? So it doesn't matter how long ago it was, and it doesn't matter if you weren't directly there. Okay, you were there at some point, right? And you're here today, which is the most important thing. Just so, for your judgment, for your punishment. We'll close up with Jeremiah 25 here. I'm going to start verse 15. It says, for thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh of Israel, unto me take the wine cup of this fury at my hand, and cause all nations to whom I send thee to drink it. Right? And like I said, the judgment is upon all nations. Right? Esau is just at the top of the list. Right? He's the worst offender. Right? And the Lord's got a cup of wrath, a cup of judgment to put out to all these nations. Right? And it says, and they shall drink and be moved and be mad because of the sword that I will send among them. Right? You people, Esau, man, just hearing about it. Okay, you wait until the Lord does it. You know. It says, then took I the cup at the Lord's hand, and made all the nations to drink unto whom the Lord has sent me, to wit, Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, and the kings thereof, and the princes thereof, to make them a desolation and an astonishment, and a hissing and a curse as it is this day. Right? It started with us. That's why we've been going through hell, man. That's why we were put in your hands and put into slavery. The Lord made us drink that cup. Right? But the Lord gonna, stay his hand off of Israel, and save the remnant of his people. Okay, that's why, this movement, this truth has been taking place, because the Lord is having mercy on his people, man. Right? And waking up the elect, so that his people may be saved. Right? Going on, verse 19, it says, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and his servants, and these princes, and all these people, and all the mingled people, and all the kings of the land of Uz, and all the kings of the land of the Philistines, and Eshkelon, and Azar, and Ekron, and the remnant of Ashdod. Edom, you Edomites, right? You so-called white people, right? There you are on the list. And Moab, and the children of Ammon, and all the kings of Tyrus, and all the kings of Zidon, and the kings of the isles which are beyond the sea, Dedan and Timar and Buz, and all that are in the utmost corners. Basically everyone, right? If you're not mentioned by name, you're covered, right? You're covered already, all the kings of Arabia, and all the kings of the mingled people that dwelt in the desert, and all the kings of Zimri, and all the kings of Elam, and all the kings of the Medes, and all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world. No one's left out. Right? Like I said, you might not be mentioned by name specifically, but guess what? Edom definitely was. You so-called white people were definitely mentioned. Right? But all the nations of the world, right, is included in this. Right? So which are upon the face of the earth, and the king of Sheshach shall drink after them. Therefore thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, drink ye, and be drunken, and spew, and fall, and rise no more, because of the sword which I will send among you. And right now we're witnessing the downfall of Esau's kingdom, and all these kingdoms of the past, man, they were fallen, right? They were taken down, right? And they didn't rise again. They're not a power in the earth anymore. And Esau's going to end up just like them. You so-called white people are coming out of power, you're going to end up like all these other nations before you. Okay, destroyed and downtrodden, trying to pick up the pieces of their broken kingdoms, if that's even happening. Like, because a lot of these places, like the Babylon, which is Iraq, they ain't doing shit. Egypt, they ain't doing shit. Got a bunch of Arabs in there right now doing nothing. These kingdoms are gone. You just got Esau, the last one standing, and he ain't gonna be standing for much longer. All right. This is verse 28, which is the point I want to get to. Said, it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup at thine hand to drink, which is what you Edomites are doing. You're refusing to have to pay. You're refusing to face the repercussions of your actions. All you're doing is complaining about it. You can't even be humble, man. You complain about it, knowing that you did a great evil in the earth, man. Like no one bats an eyelid, man, when people start talking about the compensation the small hats are getting from the Germans, right? From the Nazis. No one's batting an eyelid. That's justified. They should never forget about that. They should always be paying for that. But here, when it's concerning you Negroes and Hispanics, Native Americans, and that, when it comes down to you and the shit they've done to you, man, they don't want to do nothing, man. They want to shut. They want to tell you to shut up, man. Shut the fuck up. That's what they want to say. They don't want to hear it, but they're tired of hearing about it. It's annoying to them. You should be grateful that we let you go, so, quote unquote, released you. Okay, we don't owe you a damn thing. That's their mentality. That's how they feel, right? So you're refusing to take the cup at the Lord's hand, right? So if they refuse to take the cup at thine hand to drink, Then shalt thou say unto them, thus saith the Lord of hosts, ye shall certainly drink. Okay, there's payment to be made, and you will pay it. Okay, everything that we've been going through in these scriptures is gonna happen to you, man. Everything the Most High have prophesied against you and spoken against you is going to take place. Right? Doesn't matter how much complaining you be doing. Right? And you feel like you can do that because no one can make you do anything right now. Jake can't make you pay up. Jake can't make you face your crimes. Okay, but the Most High can, and he's going to. Right? And you're going to get obliterated. Right? Verse 29, for lo, I begin to bring evil on the city which is called by my name. Again, it started off with us. Okay, we were taken down because of our transgressions, but we are the Lord's people, man. So the Lord going to have mercy, or has had mercy upon us, man. Right? So I begin to bring evil on the city which is called by my name, and should you be utterly unpunished? Like, who are you? You're not my chosen people. I don't love you. The Lord doesn't love these nations. The Lord hates Esau. Like, who the fuck are you? You think I'm going to punish them and they ain't going to punish you? Like, who the fuck do you think you are? No, I'm going to punish you for real. Because my people, they're going to survive, man, and be blessed at the end of it, man. I'm going to, for real, destroy you. It says, ye shall not be unpunished. Right? For I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, saith the Lord of hosts. Right? And you're going to see it, man. You think this is a joke? You think this is a game right now until the Lord starts swinging that sword, man. You don't think you're ever going to go into slavery. You don't think there's ever going to be any recompense that you're going to have to make, for your wickedness, man. But when the Lord starts swinging that sword, right, you're going to know, man, okay, that there is the Most High on the earth, man, and his name is Yahweh. You're going to know. And, people, the Most High, Yahweh Shai, the Israelites, they're going to start getting the respect that they deserve, man. The acknowledgement. Being the sons of God, right? It's going to start happening. Okay, they won't be making light of our words anymore. All right. But, I'm going to end it there. Lord, when this is edifying. And I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next video, man. So till next time, I say shalom.